Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Scott Newhouse. I am a certified financial planner. So glad that you are with me today. I want to talk about another article that has been on my desk, this one for 11 months. Really embarrassing stuff on my end. But the title of the article is Protect Your Property from Deed Fraud. This is something that I've just been learning about, and I've got another episode in the works that I'm working on about all the different scams that are going on today in 2025. It's really outrageous how many different scammers are just trying to steal people's money. It's absurd. So this is a new one, deed fraud. Not a new one, but this is one that's been gaining in popularity. And so I've got an article from Business Insider that I want to go through. I got another article about some deed fraud in Queens, New York, and then a different one in Arizona. And so those are the three kind of examples I want to go through. Then I'm going to give you some tips on how to protect your home or multiple homes from deed fraud. So let's go through this Business Insider. All the links in the descriptions below. Title of the article is Scammers Are Stealing Homes from Under Their Owners' Noses. AI is making it scarily easy. So I'm not going to read the whole article because that'd be a little too boring, but I just want to go through some things that I read. So start with this paragraph here. Similar fights, and there was a fight about some LA property. I'm not gonna read about it, but similar fights over who really owns homes and land are playing out across the country. Emboldened by AI technology and immense amounts of public information, some scammers have become bolder in their deed theft, also called title theft attempts, real estate fraud experts said. Their targets can range from mansion dwellers to owners of more modest homes and parcels of land. A 2024 May study by the American Land Title Association and economic research firm NDP Analytics, with 783 responses, found seller impersonation fraud when someone fakes the identity of property owners with the aim to sell their properties is fairly common. 28% of title insurance companies experienced at least one seller impersonation fraud in 2023. 19% saw attempts in April of 2024 alone. So I will be I'll be on the lookout to see if they do more updated studies, because I'm just assuming that number, the percentage of title companies experiencing those frauds is going to continue. That's my guess. And then the last paragraph that I'm going to read from here for right now is the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center doesn't specifically track deed fraud. However, in 2023, it processed a total of 9,521 real estate related complaints, which it defines as the loss of funds from real estate investment, resulting in more than $145 million in losses. Okay. And so what I also want to point out here is that, let me give you one example. Oh, yeah. All right. So one example that we all are familiar or might be familiar with is Graceland, Elvis's property. So earlier this year, the article says, so this is 2024, a company called Nasani Investments and Private Lending said it owned Graceland and announced plans to auction off the property. But Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Riley, sued the company, accusing it of using forged documents to claim ownership, and won the case. So, I'm not exactly sure of how they did that, but the people that tried to steal that property, Graceland, they did go to jail for that. But I'm not sure of the details on that. And then one other thing that I want to point out before we go to these two other examples is that one of the government workers in Pima County, which is where Tucson is, she said that in terms of, so when there's a transfer of property, there's obviously going to be a quitclaim deed. There's got to be some kind of signatures by people to effectuate the sale, right? I mean, we've all gone through signing the documents, signing the contracts, getting the notaries on there, and so those documents are submitted to the county recorders, and then they process them. So this is a government worker in Pima County in the recorder's office. And this is what she says about these title companies and these notaries when they get the documents. She says, we, county recorder's offices, we rely on title companies and on notaries, which is why they are required to have insurance, because it is ultimately up to those companies, the title companies and the notaries, to have the safeguards to ensure that we're dealing with the correct property. So she's basically saying, hey, it's up to the notaries and the title companies to make sure those documents are legitimate, to make sure that those signatures are correct, that they're the actual people that are signing it, that it's not forged, etc. So she's kind of passing the buck, but she's also kind of saying, hey, it was never our job as the county recorder to make sure these were legitimate. It's up to those other parties involved. Now, here's the issue that I have with that, and let's go to Queens, New York. There's some real estate people that kind of acted in conjunction together to steal properties. And in this article, again, it's going to be in the show notes. I'm just going to read a paragraph here. On May 4th, 2023, the defendants, and there were 4 of them, acting with 2 others, filed a false document with the Department of Finance recording a deed transfer of a home on Kendrick Place in Jamaica Estates from an 82-year-old woman who is the rightful owner to Castaneda, I can't say that pronouncing, Castaneda Ray Family LLC, which is owned by Ray, who is one of the defendants. The signature on the deed was forged to represent the signature of the owner, who confirmed that she never signed the documents. Now, last sentence is also key. The notary signature on the transfer was also found to be fraudulent. So not only do we have signatures not by the person selling the property, so just forged documents, but we also have just a false notary, just a fraudster pretending to be a notary, signing the documents, and then that's how that deed was transferred. And obviously, the rightful owners got their property back. But let me give one more example, and then we'll get back to that quote from Gabriella, the county recorder. So this is a case in Arizona. Arizona resident Deb Gottlieb, In the well-known case of Arizona resident Deb Gottlieb, a 30-year-old California man assumed the identity of her deceased father, who I presume had the same name, coincidentally, obviously. That 30-year-old California man acquired the deed for the home and sold it using his own, the California 30-year-old man, he used his own driver's license as an ID. Gottlieb's father was in his 80s. No one noticed the age difference on the driver's license. And again, that's why I presume it's the same name, since they didn't notice any name differences, but I'm just assuming they did not notice that age difference. They did not verify his identity. By the time Gottlieb got the home to inspect it, Deb, the daughter, the rightful owner, the many family heirlooms, pictures, and treasures had been pitched, thrown away, and a new quote-unquote owner was in the home. So again, let's go back to what Gabriella said before. Gabriella says, hey, we rely on title companies and notaries to do their job and to do it effectively and to make sure they verify that the sellers, it's their authentic signature, that it's actually them, verify their identity, and then we also rely on those notaries doing their job and making sure everything is on the up and up and well. But I just gave you 2 examples, one in Queens, one in Arizona, where the notary was fraudulent, the signatures were fraudulent, and a driver's license of a 30-year-old guy was used for an 80-year-old guy, and no one in that transaction, at the title companies, the notary, whatever, no one noticed anything was off in that. So Gabriella says, hey, let's just rely on the title companies and the notaries to do their job. Well, I'm giving you examples of them not doing their job. So definitely a scary thing to think about, that these companies are not doing their due diligence to make sure that your property remains your property and we don't lose it to scammers. I should say, I'm not obviously trying to scare you. These properties did get back to their rightful owner, but I think in the case of the Arizona, in many of these cases, the legal fees that's coming out of pocket, presumably. So let me give you, so it still hurts them, but they did get their property back, so that's nice. So let me give you a few different ways that we can prevent this from lower the risk of this happening to you. So the first one that we want to do is we really want to make sure that you're monitoring your property records. You can go to your county recorder's office. You can just check in on your property, make sure that no changes have been made to your property deed. I would do that at least once a year, Some counties also, and I've checked this in LA County, Ventura County, Maricopa County, in Maricopa County is where Phoenix is. They offer basically like an electronic alert if there are any changes made to your property title. Those are optional to sign up for, as far as I know. So I would absolutely do that today. Just sign up and get alerts via email and via mail. when any changes have been made or tried to have been made to your property. Absolutely get that done. The other one that I thought of is a little unique is, Google has Google Alerts. So you can just put in, and I would not recommend this because it'd be too boring, but you can put in, give me an alert every time someone in the news mentions Scott Newhouse. Don't do that. Too boring. I actually used to have that on myself, but I'm not trying to get quoted in the media. So there's really nothing going on there. But so you can put in alerts. Google will send you an email however frequently you want it to be sent to you anytime something's mentioned. So some real estate folks have mentioned, set a Google alert for your property address. Just put out the whole address, and then also your parcel ID number. And so that might, obviously be recorded in public documents. And then if it's in some kind of public document that's online, then it would hopefully be sent or notified to you via Google Alerts. So that's just an extra layer of protection for you. And then another option that we have is just buying title insurance. So the cost of title insurance is going to vary. What I found, according to First American, a real estate company, is that the average cost of title insurance for the property owner was around 0.42% of the property's purchase price. And so if we had a $500,000 home, multiply it by 0.42%, that'd be around $2,100. That is a one-time fee, which is really nice, but obviously, $2,000 or more, depending on what you bought your home for. It's a nice chunk of change, but it could be really good, kind of peace of mind protection. So this is definitely a scam that I would keep your eyes out on. If you are at home listening to this and you own your home, I would honestly today just go, set up, go check on your property, make sure it's still in your name. I'd set up some kind of reminder so that you do it annually. I would definitely do the Google Alerts, get alerts from the county if they offer that through their government website. And then I'd really think about title insurance. I'm not going to recommend or not recommend it on this show, but I definitely think about it long and hard. Could definitely be worth the cost to kind of get the insurance to protect against fraud and any kind of claims on your property. So hope this is helpful. Stay safe out there, and I will see you next time. Bye.